podcast is a member of WildGamesProductions.com and D20Radio.com. They came from the game table, dice bags in hand.
We have one brain that we share between us.
To talk about role-playing for all across the land.
And you like it.
The original, then basic, then one they scoured.
Kinda grabs you by the boo-boo, don't it?
To bring AD&D to the second power.
You want me to put the hammer down?
Welcome to THACO's Hammer, the best damn AD&D 2nd edition podcast ever.
Is that your new Tauren war chief, Beta Raid Bill?
Oh, God.
That would be a character to make. No one's made that character yet. Someone needs to on my servers.
It's time for me to bleach my brain. Hi, folks. THACO's Hammer number 86. I'm DM Glen. I've got some indigestion, and I think these guys gave it to me. We got DM Brian.
1,600 milligrams of ibuprofen. Bliss.
DM Corey.
1,600 liters of rum. I'm in bliss.
And DM Full On Gamer.
67.6 fluid ounces of Coca-Cola. Gone. Greetings, Gamer Nation!
You just downed a 2-liter? Really?
I finished off a 2-liter.
Okay.
Stadium.
My gamer drink of choice is Fago Rock and Rye.
Not a bad way to go.
That's true because I don't have the Crown Royal here. Anyway, or any rum. So we are going to do an email show. We follow in the footsteps of Saber Die, which seems to do in every other episode.
I could say something, but I won't.
You do want Liz to still like you, right?
Well, hey, I have her pegged to do a show, so yeah, I'm gonna be quiet.
Okay, fine. Let's just go into hits and crits.
Well,
one thought he was invincible, the other thought he could fly.
So?
They were both wrong.
Son of a bitch is dug in like an Alabama tick.
You're hit. You're bleeding, man.
I ain't got time to bleed.
We're sending somebody in to negotiate.
Anybody else want to negotiate?
Hits and crits.
Hits and crits. What you guys been doing, gaming and otherwise? Corey.
Just as I shove a piece of burrito in my mouth, you asked me that question. All right.
Where did you shove it again?
In my mouth.
Oh.
Well, let's see. Did we do a show last Sunday?
Yes, we did.
Yes, we did. We did an AP.
Yeah.
That's why we didn't have this last time. Killed 2 characters. Campaign. Beautiful. Oh, let me correct that. I didn't kill 2 people. They killed themselves.
That's right. You never kill anybody.
I don't kill any of my players. They killed themselves. I just happened to set up a trapped room, and the rest of the party saw it was obviously trapped and told them not to go in. And because there were symbols in there of their god, the Dwarven cleric decided, screw that, we're going in and saving the corpses of the people imprisoned in there. And, well, they just added to the number. So, yeah, I just set up the room. They went in.
God of Lost thing, yes.
Yes, it was beautiful. They lost their life. Yeah. Other than that, I've been working. Decided to really put forth some effort trying to get the rest of this campaign out. My world, by the way, that's what I mean. My campaign world. Gonna try to push forth out the main book again, and then probably start working on the supplements. But yep, that's all I've been doing. That and drinking.
Okay, well, par for the course. Brian, what you been doing?
Oh, let's see. Well, like Corey said, we had, like you said, Glenn, we had session 11 of Hammers of Duchy, and I'll put this out right now. I went to go edit session 10, and it's been corrupted, so I'm going to put a little announcement in session 11, which will be coming out a lot sooner than expected. But I'll give a little rundown of what happened in session 10 and leading into the final, quote unquote, final battle with the big bads in session 11. So aside from that,
give it in his best Clone Wars announcer's voice. Terror in the depths of the darkness. Here's what our great adventurers did while you were gone.
I only wish I had that voice, believe me.
Last time on Hammers of the Duchy.
Exactly. And so, yeah, like I said, Session 11 will be coming out very shortly, and also Episode 3 of the AD&D Trivia game, because the same thing happened to Episode 2. So I'm not very happy with MP3 Skype Recorder right now, to the point where I'm considering taking the AP and moving it over into Google Hangouts. But I need a program that will record everything properly.
Exactly. I'd move everything over into Google Hangouts if I could do that.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure.
Yeah.
Alex, I'll take swords for 1,200.
Swords.
All right, Full-On, what you been up to? Army stuff?
Nope, it's been double XP weekend for Star Wars Day weekend.
Uh-oh.
That gives you a time frame of when this show is being recorded, but it was double XP in the old Republic, so that was my Star Warsification for Star Wars Day.
The only man I know who has a platoon of bounty hunters.
I bet he knows people who have more.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't bet against it.
Want me to introduce you to our one kill trooper guild?
One kill troop. What?
It's a guild of troopers. You only live once. If you die, make another character.
Oh, clones.
Ooh.
No. Live as long as you can.
Live as long as you can, but yeah, if you die, that's it.
Yeah.
People have fun with the game however they want to have fun with the game. There's trooper guilds, there's bounty guilds, there's Sith guilds, there's furry guilds, whatever. Got Cathar now, they can have furry guilds.
Yep. Hey,
look at little Sither. Hey, look at little Sither.
Oh dear. What have you been doing, Glenn?
Well, I don't know if I remember if I said the last show. A few weeks ago we had my Labyrinth Lord game. We had to not play this Saturday because our DM his sons had a T-ball game. So now we get to play 3 Saturdays in a row just before the convention. And we ended up fighting a Hydra. Yay! Mm-hmm. Started with 8 heads.
Well, hey, that's not so bad.
And I got the killing blow with my spiritual mace. Pop!
Crush the skull of the last head that falls over dead. Yep.
Yeah, pretty much. Then he hauled out two trolls on us.
Only 2?
And he stopped the fight in the middle of the fight, saying, "I'm going to have to retool these guys. We're going to start the fight over." Because apparently, I guess we're the guinea pigs for all his modules now.
Oh, is that what it is?
Well, it didn't help that the troll... No, it wasn't. No, I'm sorry. They were ogres. It didn't help they were undead ogres.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of undead?
The kind that goes... Oh, sorry.
Easy. Steady.
Yes.
Kind that wants your brains? Or were they kind that want to suck your blood?
No, it's the kinds that touch
do it
you
by ripping your head off like a pop top.
Yeah, it's the ones that touch you and say freeze, and you do.
Well, because they can touch you and say,
yeah. He said this is going to be a TPK if I don't do something right now. He says, "Oh, okay, we're just a test group, right?" Yeah, pretty much.
Feed a bunch of ogres to some shadows, since shadows feed on strength, so you end up with ogre shadows.
Oh. And I'm still working on or starting to work on the game. I'm backed up there. Working on the game I'm going to run at the North Texas RPG Con.
How's that going?
I had to rescind my last time I said I wasn't going to do it. Now I'm going to do it because between then and now I had like testicular expansion. So
you found yourself some testicular fortitude?
Yes. And I picked up a couple of, let's see. Oh, I got Dungeon World. What a neat game.
Cool.
And anything else I could distract me from writing up that damn game. But
at least you're being honest about it.
Yes, at Half Price Books for about $16. Oh, and I had a birthday, so.
Oh, yes, that's right. Happy birthday, Glenn.
Thank you.
Indeed.
57 now.
I'll drink to that. Happy birthday, Glenn.
I picked up for about $16 total. The Palladium Books presents the Compendium of Weapons, Armor, and Castles, and the Compendium of Temporary Weapons. I don't care what system it is; these are going to come in handy.
It does. That's an awesome book.
Mm-hmm.
Those are awesome books. What knocked me out was I knew they had all that weapons information, but the castle information. Practically every castle that is or was standing, they give you a layout of it.
Yep.
Wow.
It was unbelievable.
Cool.
And it's like, these were like, what was the contemporary weapons was $6 and the other one was $8 and I had like a 15% off coupon. Mm-hmm. So, hey, I made out.
Nothing wrong with that.
I'm glad you guys knew about those.
I didn't know until you mentioned it.
Well, now go find it.
I'm a Palladium gamer from way back, so of course.
That's right. In fact, I'm thinking of going back. They had another copy of the Compendium of Weapons, Armor, and Castles, buying the other one and giving it to Matt. Mm-hmm. He will crap his diapers. Ooh, boy, over that. Anyway, that's me.
Yep.
So shall we move on to the meat of the program?
Yes, we shall.
It's email time, folks.
How does one send emails to THACO's Hammer?
It's to thacoshammer@gmail.com.
Mm-hmm.
I say, batting my eyes coquettishly.
How else might one get in touch with THACO's Hammer at gmail.com?
Reach out and touch us. I don't know. Yeah, reach out and touch us on the phone from some kind of number.
The number is 405-806-0555.
Call now.
You might actually get to talk to Corey.
Oh my God. That would be so hot. Just have me answer phone. Hi, how's it going? What do you want to talk about? That's awesome.
Do you want a gamer live link? You need gamers waiting for your call?
Oh my!
I was thinking more like I want to say something from THACO's Hammer. First off, what are you wearing?
Exactly.
Chainmail and leather pants with gray eyes. Let me see that character sheet. Man. I know it says blue eyes, but they're gray eyes because.
Now that we burned that into your collective brains, let's go on to the emails. Who wants to start?
Let's give our man Kojo a little bit of love, shall we? If only a little.
Oh, let's do this right. We have DM Kojo in the house.
Yes. Thank you.
Okay.
Hi. Welcome.
Yes. What are you wearing? No, wait.
And once again, Kojo, congratulations on getting your master's degree.
Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah. That is all right.
You know more about history than most people.
We'll take that. Thank you.
What 90th percentile or something like that?
As long as I know more than my students, I'm okay.
There you go. Well, you haven't run into any of those one of those brainy Smurf know-it-all kids yet?
Oh, several, but we manage that. We have strategies for dealing with those types.
Yeah. He just got his new books with which he can quote from, so he hasn't shown up to class yet with his crib notes.
Just keep in mind I teach middle school, so that's about all you need to know.
Oh, then you can handle the four of us. You're good to go.
Exactly.
You've had training.
Yes.
Do you have any D&D kids in your class?
I've got a couple that I've talked to about the game, but none of them really took it up.
They raise their head. Mr. Gaspin, how many hit points did Alexander the Great have?
That'd be a good one.
Not enough to resist syphilis.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's the debilitating? Yeah, what is the debilitating functions of syphilis? But anyway.
And what killed our first founding father? Failure of save versus disease. He died of syphilis.
Oh boy.
Like I told you, Kojo, this is not my idea.
Downhill from here.
We'll wing it. I don't even know what the topic is tonight.
Oh, we're just doing emails.
We're cleaning out the mailbox.
Oh, wonderful.
So not only will you hear yourself, but we're also going to do other people as well. So
yeah, we're going to do emails, folks, tonight. That comes from DM Glen, the alleged main host.
He is the main host. He's the man.
Yes, he's the one they point to when things go wrong.
You're being replaced, Glenn. Anyway,
I guess somebody wants to give you a void contest, so get out of here. So.
I don't. We'll talk about that after the show because now.
Okay, let me tell you about my mother.
She's a good old gal. Anyway, she's a nice old gal. Okay, So, getting back to the emails. Okay. Excuse me.
And who's
All right,
this from?
I'm going to go away from what I was going to do.
see, Kojo, I can screw around all like this all the time because Brian's editing the shows now.
Yeah, exactly. yeah. The onus is on me now. So yeah, now, yeah. Okay.
I should have hard drive crashes more often. Shut up! Don't you didn't hear that? You didn't hear that, machine. You didn't hear
you
that.
Just jinxed yourself, and you just got a computer system recently too. You better watch it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. This email is from Terminus.
Hi, Terminus.
He says, "Hey guys, just caught up on the last 4 podcasts, and I thought I'd drop you a line." He did send this in like late January, so this was several episodes ago. He says, "First off, I feel the need to correct your collective interpretation of the permanency spell because I once erred in the exact same fashion until one day I hit upon an epiphany. If the order in which the text appears is important, which I feel that it is, then the loss of constitution only applies to the first use of the spell, which permits a selected list of spell effects to be permanently granted to a target individual. The creation of magic items or permanent effects upon the environment are not subject to this penalty. No need to hand wave it, Brian. I disagree, but we'll continue. Secondly, I'd like to hear your opinions on a topic which in my experience has always stirred up a healthy debate amongst tabletop gamers. I'm referring to player character alignment. While it's generally accepted that D&D was created to be a heroic game, the rule books have provided us with fully faceted moral compass with which to generate our alternate personas. Too often I've seen a DM announce right off the bat that no characters of evil or chaotic neutral alignments will be allowed in the game. There's a reason for that, but we'll get to it. While the DM has the right to run their game however they choose, a real DM, I hate that term. DM can deal with any situation which arises, including conflict. Only slightly less offensive than that is the party which uses an alignment detection spell or effect upon every new NPC or PC they meet and pass judgment before that individual has had the chance to prove their worth.
I'll give that.
Especially when their own PC's alignments vary more than a politician's platform during an election year. Keep what you're doing, Hammerfolk. 0. Okay.
Anybody slings that term real DM automatically gets my ire.
Yeah, I kind of got a little irritated myself, but let's give them the benefit of the doubt. Okay, first point. Permanency can be interpreted that way, but the majority of DMs, and myself included on that, they don't run it that way. It's
not all the times that they've commented on it in Sage Advice and other such Dragon Magazine musings and postings on the subject, stick with that canonical, you're paying for the cost of a constitution point when you contract out your permanent magic.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even so, it's a percentile chance in second edition. It's not automatic like it was in first. So, they did sort of soften the blow a little bit. But not, not like, you just cast it out of nowhere. I mean, permanency is an 8th level spell, if I'm not mistaken. And I'll consult my little cell phone app while we're talking. But, and usually with the higher level spells, especially when you're dealing with, giving something a permanent aura or altering something or, just dealing with major magics in general, there was a rather hefty cost put on the caster of it. Yeah, there it is, permanency. And at least to me, it's like, I always thought the first edition interpretation of the spell was too harsh. The second edition, is a little bit better, but, I have no problem running it by the book.
Besides, if you want to go the cheap and easy route, that's what all those wonderful necromancers are for, who are going to defer and defray those costs onto other entities, so expressly for the purpose of having raw materials for magic item creation handing about, which gives you something to have a reason to go against the evil wizard and his horrible tower and all of his interesting items he just made.
What about you, Kojo? How do you weigh in on that?
Honestly, I I can't think of an instance where any of my players ever used permanency. It's never come up.
Yeah, considering you have to be like what 16th level, I think.
Yeah, I mean,
in order to cast it.
My guys quite often kind of peter out on their characters right around 5th or 6th level, so
that's a shame.
Then they kind of like to start over something new.
16th level to cast it themselves. Less than that if they're like one of the items that they get together in the gathering of the crafting of magic items process is a scroll of permanency, and they cast from that.
Yeah,
that'd be a good way to get into the game. That's true.
Yeah, that's one way around it for sure. Corey.
Hey, Corey. Have you ever had permanency in your games in any way, shape, or form with your players or you?
No, actually, nobody survived. I mean, we haven't got.
Yeah, no one's lived long enough.
No, they all got permanency. They're permanently dead.
Exactly.
No, right. I haven't had anybody high enough level to actually cast this spell. I've had them NPC talk to somebody who they've paid exorbitant amounts of money to have it done, but they themselves, I haven't had any players actually cast it, so it's all been done behind the DM screen when it comes to using it. These guys that are currently I'm running with now, though, they're at that level, and I've got an anatomist necromancer in the party who is more Dr. Frankenstein and the Johnny Depp Sleepy Hollow kind of Ichabod Crane. He's poking and prodding and making notes, but he's still, the necromancer, but he's doing the whole research part. I foresee him.
I gave you that. I gave that suggestion.
So, if they get up there on that level, yeah, I foresee it coming up when they get up there, but right now they're still around 9th and 10th level. So
when the anatomist starts actually thinking about making golems.
Yes.
Yep.
Did I not give you the idea about necromancers that way?
Oh yeah, you gave him that idea. I didn't. That's his character. That's not my character, but he might have heard it from the podcast. It's one of my players. That's not.
We have to start shutting up on it around here.
Hey, they're gonna steal your ideas wherever they can.
We're all about giving out free advice lately. We have a segment dedicated to it.
Yeah, we do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That was Terminus.
Oh,
right?
Well, he's got that second point about alignment. Oh. Shall we quickly cover that?
Sure.
Quickly.
Okay. All right. I mean, the way I look at it, like I said, I've been playing and DMing since 1981. I've been legitimately DMing since 1983. And in all my experience, there's only been one player in my experience who's played chaotic neutral, at least to where he's not doing stuff just to drive the players and the DM nuts, because unfortunately the overwhelming majority of players ruin that whole line of thought and thinking and being for everybody because they think it gives them license to be an ass. And evil is like, I look at it this way, playing evil alignments, that should be its own separate game, because it's just one of those things that just leads to party conflict, in my opinion. Chaotic neutral, however, it's like, look, if you're going to play chaotic neutral, go and sit down and watch Pirates of the Caribbean, all of them, all 5 movies. If you want a primer about how to play a chaotic neutral character, that's how you do it. If you try just to be a crazy dude who does insane stuff just to try and make the game about yourself, or, purposely get the party in trouble, or lead to other stuff and things like that, you're going to be excused from my table and not asked back. And that's just
fine,
how I do
then
it.
I won't play it on our podcast then. Fine.
Or you are chaotic neutral.
I am, but
5?
Tetsuo is not.
5?
5.
You said all 5 Pirates of the Caribbean movies.
Oh, I thought there were 5.
There's 4.
Oh, 4? Sorry. My fault.
Yeah, they're working on the next one.
It seems like there are 5.
For me, I don't have a problem. I mean, I've had people at the table, and my players know when they sit down that not to go past chaotic neutral or true neutral. I've had some people try to explain to me their lawful evil or their lawful evil stand, and I'll give them a chance. And if I see them start pulling it away and start doing some things that they shouldn't, Yeah, I warned them ahead of time. I'm not going to let your mischievous fun ruin the party cohesion. I understand this is a game and everybody wants to have fun, but you got to follow the rules. There's a reason why there's a rule book in Monopoly, so everybody can have fun.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of cockamamie, demented forum were they drawing their notion from that they could be thinking of lawful evil as a source of shenanigans and tomfoolery?
They essentially wanted to play an assassin who has been retired at a young age, who became a politician and or mayor and or constabulary, some sort of lawmaker who essentially was ousted out of his area for embezzling money and being a scumbag, and literally will do whatever he needs to do, but he wanted to use the party as his way of gaining enough notoriety and fame to show everybody in the world, hey, I'm not such a bad guy. Meanwhile, his actual motives were, I need to do this to fool everybody who knows about this group and getting famous so I can go back and take my spot back and be evil again.
That's neutral evil, not lawful evil. What the hell?
Yeah,
but it turned into, well, I want to keep the assassin part because I can kill whoever I want to. You got a natural straight good cleric in the party who does not want people killed, would rather knock them unconscious or charm person or hold person. He just walk up and slit their throats. And
again, that's also not a lawful evil thing. A lawful evil thing is you contracted a hit. I'm going to do the hit.
Right. So yeah. I have some people who like to do that, and I have a guy who he'll play chaotic neutral, and every time he tries to slip chaotic neutral past me, he picks my god of chaos, and I have a god of chaos and rage and in my world, and he does stuff like during a battle he just stops fighting and he walks into the weapons room when they're in a dwarven dungeon, and he finds a weapons room and they're fighting right next to it. He just walks in and grabs 2 steel hafted spears that the dwarves would use, just picks them up. And he goes, okay, I'm just going to walk to the edge, not being in anybody's threat range or anything. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to throw him at the feet of everybody fighting.
Again, this is a symptom of that very, very, very poorly worded attempt by somebody who really just was being bitter and shoving everyone's nose in how they don't want the game to be played when they tried to make the statement of, think of chaotic neutral as just plain insane.
Right.
No. It's not just plain insane, and it shouldn't be thought of that way.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
But
I've never had anybody that's asked to play chaotic evil or neutral evil. Although I'd probably let them give it a shot if I thought they were good enough at role playing it. Now I have had lawful evil characters, but and that's worked quite well because the idea of a lawful evil character having at least some sense of honor and a code that they follow. That that if they give their word, they're generally going to stick with it. Although, they certainly could be, because they certainly could find a loophole.
Yeah, for sure. They'll try to twist it to their advantage.
But what Brian said, what Brian said is kind of what I do. It's like if I'm going to do an evil party, if enough people are like, I want to do neutral evil, I want to do chaotic neutral, I want to do lawful evil, what I'll do is I'll run an evil campaign. And the last one I did, everybody literally woke up on a giant battlefield. Everybody woke up dead. And they were all a version of undead. And as they leveled up, I started to give them special abilities from their monster chart. One guy was a ghast, one guy was a zombie, one guy was a ghoul, and they literally got special abilities. And then they had to try to figure out what they were going to do. One of the guys goes, let's go take over that dwarven kingdom and then just make it full of monsters. And they're like, okay, let's do it. So they literally played an evil campaign where their goal was to destroy a whole dwarven kingdom and literally make it so that their next characters that they played freed the dwarven kingdom from a whole bunch of undead that came walking in off a battlefield that took over their dwarf. So it was kind of cool. But yeah, I'll keep the evil alignments to specific games, not letting everybody in with anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it could be fun.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Terminus. Yep.
Thank you, Terminus. What else we got?
You've all heard my approach on it. I acknowledge and allow most anything as long as it is a contributor to the party and their goals, up to and including I've had the Cleric of Cthulhu part of the party.
Wow. I want to play that cleric.
Yeah. I mean, let's put it this way. I mean, I've also, in the same game where I had, actually, there's one game where I had someone play a lawful evil mage, and he actually did it right. He wasn't the whole always rubbing his hands with glee and looking to see if everything could be turned to his advantage. No, he actually had, a code of honor. It's just, one of these things where, yeah, every once in a while he tried to turn a certain situation to his advantage.
That's the other thing is you turn something to your advantage, which can include doing things to the party's advantage, because it is to your advantage to have that happen. It is not find the most critical, opportune moment, cliffhanger instance of the campaign and betray everybody.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I've seen other players basically do. I played in an all evil campaign. I was the only one who wasn't. I played straight neutral, and there was like a chaotic evil necromancer, a lawful evil cleric, and just things like that. And I'm basically sitting back and watching them plotting with the DM, who's playing like God only knows how many NPCs, trying to screw each other over. And it's funny because it would just extend out from the game. It wasn't like player conflict so much, but it was sort of like one of those player
conflicts.
No, I can't say conflict. It wasn't conflict, but it was more along the lines of, I know what you're doing.
I can be more wicked than you are.
Yeah,
you're not going to get away with what I'm getting away with, what you're getting away with.
Exactly. I'm going to try to outdick you. That's basically what it was.
Did you just say outdick you?
Yes, that's what I did. These guys are playing characters, basically like penises. What can I tell you? And I'm sitting back and I'm watching the whole thing, and I'm just like, oh my goodness, what have I gotten myself into? I mean, and this whole thing.
No, you were true neutral. You should be sitting there saying, I do not have strong feelings about any of this.
All I did was keep all the spellcasters alive, because the character I was playing was a fighter. But it was just kind of funny just to sit back and watch all the plotting and subtle and not so subtle backbiting. It was kind of funny.
Well,
but that's that kind of game. Anyway,
I'm glad we could quickly cover that. What else we got?
Next one, you want me to read it?
Go for it.
I'm going to start down the bottom with some Brian Hudson down here. He's got a bunch of them in here, and
Brian?
A lot of them are small. Yeah. I'm just going to read a couple, I'll read one, but we'll read a couple of these.
You suck. You're stupid. You suck.
Oh, he likes us.
Hello, I've just recently discovered your podcast on 2nd Edition AD&D. I've really enjoyed it, even though I've recently been drawn into the basic expert D&D hype. Pretty much all the role-playing I actually did when growing up in the 80s was 2E, and usually in the Forgotten Realms. So this brings back a lot of great memories. I'm trying to go back and listen to past episodes. If you've already discussed some of these topics, I apologize. I was a big fan of the Forgotten Realms series of accessories. I realized they weren't all 2E. Of those that were, I really enjoyed FR9, Bloodstone Lands, and FR13, Anorok. Sorry.
Anorok. Yep.
If you read the Forgotten Realms novels, the Bloodstone Lands were touched on greatly in the Sellswords trilogy. Also, Anorok was a setting in the Part C, first of the Harpist series. Thanks, Brian Hudson. There you go. That's the first one we can clear out. Thank you, Brian.
Yep.
Yes, it was. Yes, it is. And thank you for your support.
Mm-hmm. I love Anorok. That's a great setting.
Yeah, it is. It's awesome.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
The desert in front of the glacier.
Yep.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah. Magic.
Yeah, it's a cool history of how that desert got started with the
there's an area between them that's filled with quicksand, but
no doubt, right?
Anyway.
You would think.
But yeah, it's got a cool setting, and the history of the Anorok is cool with the whole I just lost the name of that freaking monster.
What monster?
The damn defilers. The things that look like garbage disposal with tails.
What, Audiux?
Audiux?
No, the magic eating ones.
Oh, the
ones
Faerun.
that thank you, the Faerun. Yeah.
Faerun. Yeah.
Yeah, very cool history of that. I enjoy that, and I use that. That became part of when we did do desert series and desert campaigns. I did use a lot of that for reference before I found all my old stash of the Al-Qadim.
Yep. Al-Qadim.
Ibn Fahlan, Ibn Rashid. Ibn.
Okay, so shall we
continue on?
Yep. Okay.
Anorak is filled with taxi cabs and 7-Elevens. So, thank you. Who was that? Barney?
That was Bryant Hudson.
Right.
Yeah, Bryant with
thank you,
T.
Brian Hudson.
Yep.
Bryant Hudson, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Next up.
Alrighty, I will bring you something from John Williams. One day after.
Hi,
May the force be with you. Not that John Williams. I would hope so, but obviously
that John Williams?
Not that John Williams.
I wish
on Today of All Days, Revenge of the Fifth?
Yes.
Oh, it can just keep right on going.
So, to me, hello again, THACO's Hammer crew. I just wanted to follow up with some ideas I had about using dig and fabricate. Dig seems very versatile. You could use it to unroot trees by getting rid of the dirt around the roots. Dig out under the foundation of homes, castles, towers, and try to cause them to collapse, especially if it's the home of a big bad guy. Dig a tunnel going straight to the outside of a particular dungeon room. Create a new mine shaft. Or even use it to make a very long halfling-sized tunnel for the thief to crawl through, so it can do breaking and entering much easier. Fabricate also seems very useful. You could reinforce your new mine shaft with beams to keep it from collapsing. Create the various little spell components that are basically carved items, such as the tiny shovel and bucket for more dig spells. Construct homes, shacks, castles, bridges, and other buildings for various purposes, like establishing a home, or trying to confuse or surprise people with the sudden appearance of a new inn or toll booth next to a major trade road. You could create uniforms and armor resembling the big bad guy's legion for infiltration. Create armor, weapons, rings, or other items you can then enchant for your friends or enemies to use. This could even be how your magic user builds their own wizard tower if they decide to do so.
That's where permanency comes in.
This guy is... You're sounding like a late-night infomercial.
It sounds like it does.
You can use dig, too. Yeah.
Yes, dig and fabricate. The new way for you to create your own castle on the cheap.
Sounds like Minecraft. An advertisement
Yeah,
for
you
Minecraft.
So you can always tell the guys who play Minecraft.
Dig and fabricate. How about that? Wow.
Oh,
Well, I like the its creative use of kind of utilitarian spells, which I like, and it's not just for the purpose of power gaming. It's being creative with them, coming up with different purposes. So I like it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the whole point of the spell list, personally.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the raw material. Do something with it.
Yep. If you have the spells and if you have the imagination, the possibilities are endless. Yeah, it might as well be Minecraft.
And of course, once players start getting that creative and they start establishing their strongholds and they start thinking, well, what if somebody wants to use dig and fabricate to get into my castle? And they start thinking of the ways to counterspell it and counter-argue it. And then you have all that ready for when the party goes out again to try to get more stuff.
An arms race.
Yes, I can do it. Yes, it's the magic arms race all over again.
Wow.
But that's okay.
Yeah, for sure. Oh dear.
I like it.
Yep.
All right.
Who was that?
That was
John Williams.
Yeah, John Williams.
Dun, 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 dun,
Thank you,
dun,
John.
dun.
Yeah, I'm sure he's heard.
No relation.
He's heard a couple of jokes as far as that goes.
Yeah.
All of them yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Okay, let's see.
What's
okay,
next?
you want to do it, guys?
What? Give Kojo his own to read? I'm down.
Well, we can't do
You guys
that.
are mean.
That's what I said.
That's all right. That's all right. We can do that.
Okay.
You'll
All
be
right.
on the
give me a
show, you're
second.
gonna
I'm gonna
work.
turn my speakers on, and this way we can hear what you have said.
Greetings, Hammer Wielders. This is DM Kojo calling in. I recently left you a GaryCon report update, but before you could listen to that, apparently, you recorded a show where you give me all kinds of crap for not calling in. That's what I get for trying to spare you my endless flow of questions. So I'm calling back in again, not with questions this time, but something different. In honor of David Letterman retiring in 2015, I thought, what better than a top 10 reasons why DM Kojo loves 2E. Here we go. Number 10, THACO. Now, THACO might not be the perfect two-hit system. I've actually grown a little fond of Ascending Armor class. I'm ducking from Glen's swing right now. But I think THACO was a great improvement over the 1E referencing the charts system. Number 9, ease of use. Although I love my high Gygaxian 1E books for what they are, at the same time, it's often hard to find things when you need them, and not the easiest system necessarily for newcomers to learn. The editing and reorganization, the headings of the 2E core books, I think, was very helpful in this regard. Number 8, Legends and Lore 2E style. The old Deities and Demigods was great, but power gaming and hunting down gods is something from my youth, not something I embrace these days. I like the format of the 2E Legends and Lore with their avatars being the ones that contact the characters, not necessarily the full-on deities, and the full-on deities are pretty much unbeatable. Falls more in line with what my campaign world is like these days. Number 7, Psionics system. Greatly improved over 1E. The complete book of Psionics is fantastic, makes it very playable, which the 1E version was not. Number 6, the revised Bard. The Bard was virtually unplayable, undesirable in the 1E format. Could never convince anybody to even try it. So I like the way they did the Bard up in 2E, so it was a much more playable class. Number 5, specialists, specifically specialist wizards and specialty priests. The 1E books had spell schools listed next to spells, but they really didn't come into play. I like how you can now specialize in a school and focus all your energies on that type of magic. Number 4, Monstrous Compendiums. Yes, I actually like the loose leaf 3-ring binder format. I wish that they weren't printed back-to-back so you could honestly reorganize them how you want. I just love the fact that different settings, different types of worlds have their own appendices to add to your collection. 3, kits. Not every kit was a good one, but I like the ideas of the kits that you could specialize your character a little bit more. Granted, we did this in the older school days automatically, but I think it was nice to get some ideas to kind of get you started on what you want to do to differentiate your character. Number 2, some of them were fantastic, but I pulled valuable stuff from all of them and put it in my game. I don't run a specific campaign setting, but I find useful stuff all over the place. And finally, the number 1 reason why DM Kojo loves 2E, Spell Compendiums and Encyclopedia Magica. These collections of all the spells and magic items from over the eSource, and I highly recommend it to anybody who wants to play 2E. So there's my top 10 list. Sorry, it was long-winded and got cut off halfway through, but next time I'll try to keep my comments a little shorter. So hopefully I don't take too much crap in the near future from you. All right, guys, keep it going, keep it old school, keep rocking 2E, keep up the podcasting. DM Kojo's out.
You're gonna take it.
Damn, that sounds just
I'm
like,
ready.
sounds just like Kojo.
How about that?
Wow. So, yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with any of that top 10 for sure.
Yeah,
right.
you know, it's I'm a fan of top 10 lists anyways. Anybody that's on my Facebook knows I tend to throw random top 10 lists out there just to share with the masses. But you know, so I was giving it some thought. I mean, there's a lot of things I like, obviously, about 2E. There's things I like about all the systems I've played. But, you know, 2E to me has always been 1E reorganized with lots of options. And that's what I've always enjoyed about it.
So there's a full-on deity?
Oh, yes. In all the good adventuring realms.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
right now,
that
that appears as a black and red garbed half orc.
yeah, that's one of his more. Yeah, that's one of his more well-known disguises.
He likes to walk among the mortals and live with them.
And occasionally fight along with them and do all kinds
Especially
of
live
things.
with the women.
Now, the other, I think the other voicemail you got in queue is just my GaryCon update, which I can give personally if you prefer.
We already, we did that last episode, as a matter of fact.
Oh, did you?
The forthcoming Splat Book 85, yes.
Oh, it hasn't come out yet. Okay.
No, it will be out by the end of the week.
Awesome. So now we're caught up on me, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Disregard the MP3.
Yeah, as far as you taking crap, nah.
Well, that's never
it just shows how much we love you. That's all.
That's right.
Somebody read something new.
Okay.
All right. You got it, Brian? I'll do it.
Yeah, go for it.
I'll read another one of Brian Hudson's. Here we go.
Yeah.
Brian Hudson. He's starting to turn into a mini Kojo. Here we go. Brian says, hello, I just recently listened to episode 50. It was great. It's so great to hear you discuss the Forgotten Realms and touch on some of the novels. Greyhawk was mostly before my time, and I only read about Dragonlance but never played. Forgotten Realms was like a second home to me back in the 80s. I completely agree that the cities and the religions were a huge selling point for the realms. No longer was a cleric just a cleric, but each one could be a little different now depending on the god they chose. Amen, brother. Amen. Mm-hmm. With regards to cities such as Waterdeep, you have so many great ones to choose from to set a campaign around. Though it isn't a 2E product, FR1, Waterdeep in the north, is probably one of my favorite accessories and pieces of RPG cover art. Yeah, it's good. That's a good box.
That is a box. It's a book.
I'm sorry, book.
Yeah.
As far as topic suggestions, sorry.
Go ahead.
As far as topic suggestions, I've read on numerous forums and asked people what their favorite 2E campaign setting was. More times than not, I find Al-Qadim being the top choice, saying how well made it was. I admit I never bought any of the products, but I'm wondering if I really missed out. Do any of you have any experience with this product? I'd love to hear about it. Thanks, Brian Hudson.
Well, now that you mention it, Bryant, we do have an Al-Qadim campaign in the works. As I look at the show notes. Yes, we do.
Yes, we do.
That will be Splatbook 92.
Yes. Oh, I thought you said campaign. I was going, wait a minute.
Mm-hmm. No. Although, you know what? I've always planned on taking some Al-Qadim stuff and putting it in my my Mystara campaign because there is a Middle Eastern region, that I've already put as far as it being most of the Middle Eastern countries, along with some remnants of ancient Egypt, along with that. So I've always wanted to do that. I just haven't had the time or the wherewithal to do it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to put a little note about that so that I don't forget. So
same way. My campaign world is a mishmash of all different campaign settings. Mostly Greyhawk and Mystara with a little bit of Forgotten Realms, and I do have Al-Qadim out there, but my players haven't gotten that far yet.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm currently led a section of my world off to one of my friends who wanted to run something in my world, and he took a desert area, and all he did was I said, do you need any reference material? He goes, nope, I got a whole bunch of Al-Qadim books. We're good to go. So I'm foreseeing us playing essentially Al-Qadim, but on my planet in my campaign homeworld. He's got some really good ideas, and some of the things out of the books are like the Dwarven Wizards. Freaking awesome. I can't wait to play in this campaign.
Cool.
Now, his email does tie into a question I actually was going to call in, but I'm here now.
Yeah. Funny how that works out.
I haven't read any of the Forgotten Realms books, honestly, as far as the novelizations.
Really?
And he talked, no, never.
You want to give me your address? I can send you every single one of them. I've got them all in digital, and I don't need them in hardback anymore.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah, well, I'm curious what order you would recommend. Do I read them in publication order? Is there specific series that you would read first? I've always been curious where to start. That's, I think, the most intimidating factor for me.
The only one I read is the Avatar trilogy.
There is a chronological order, but the publication order basically follows most of the chronological order as far as the big events of the Forgotten Realms, whether it's the Moonshade trilogy leads off, then you've got the Avatar trilogy eventually, then you've got the little injects in there for the things that, the series might be made up of 4 or 5 or 6 books, but they're not inherently a trilogy like all the Alias books and stuff like that. They're just very good stories that weave around the greater stories of the realms as they happen, and they're not bad that way. They do have a lot of niche sets like the cities books or the investigators books or the Erebus Kale books, the region books, the Tale books, the Mastika books. They go by zones. You can get your dose of Forgotten Realms in pockets, and it won't break up the doing of anything you've done.
If you ever see the name Drist in print, put the
here
book
we go.
down.
Here we go.
Oh, come on. So there's 15 books in that saga, not counting the drow chick who gets her own 5. Yes.
15.
She's awesome, too.
Well, it's okay more than that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Well,
I haven't caught up with the most recent ones.
Yeah, I would go by publication more than trying to go by actual time in the realms, because that was a real fluid thing to begin with back when they started writing them in, I think, 87.
But you can find a pretty good chronology timeline at the Candlekeep website.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go look it up.
All of the novels onto the chronology in their timeline. So if you want to start all the way back with young Elminster before he was a mage.
Oh, boy.
Elminster goes to hell.
Grassy lands of Honorrock.
That book was not an easy read, I will say that.
No, it was. No, it wasn't.
The series reached its low point when they published Elminster in Candyland.
Well, I don't even know what was the original Forgotten Realms novel that was published.
The first ones were the Moonshade trilogy.
Yeah.
Moonshade, okay.
Yeah, that was the first one.
The ones that made up the cover art for the 1E Forgotten Realms boxes.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's probably where I'll start.
Okay.
Yeah. Once you get, like I said, all I read was the Avatar trilogy and Prince of Lies.
Mm-hmm.
And the Trial of Cyric. And
that was the book. Yeah, that was the best of all 3.
But I like Prince of
Lies. Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
But once you get to me, you got to read the Avatar trilogy so you can get to the good books.
Hey, the Spellfire trilogy was good once they realized it was a trilogy.
No, they should have left it after the first one.
Yeah,
that trilogy ended so unsatisfactorily that I questioned, and I know this is somewhat blasphemy in certain circles, but screw it. I questioned Greenwood's writing style. I seriously had questions about.
I did not approve, or I did not like that series.
No,
I did not like it.
The first one was good, even though they had a lot of tropes in it. But then the second and third books were But yeah. So
well, sorry, I didn't mean to derail us, but
not at all. Not at all.
It's a good series. It's a good, it's like the people who had all the debates of how do you watch Star Wars on Star Wars Day? What is the order and what is the edit?
You go 1 to 6. What's the hard part about that?
What do you mean 1 to? Wait, hold on, Brian. What do you mean 1 to 6?
You go episode.
See?
What do you mean 1 to 6?
You go 1 if you want to actually go have if you want to actually have it done.
Wait.
That if you want to know how it goes from beginning to end, you go 1 to 6. If you want to, listen. If you want to learn, if you want to go have the whole history done, you go 1 to 6. If you're going
to do that, you might as well inject both of the Clone Wars series inclusive, plus the Ewoks.
Guys, yeah, yes. I was getting to that. I said if you want to enjoy it, you go 4, 5, 6. You go droids, you go Ewoks. Then you go 1, 2, 3. No, you go 1, 2. Then you do the Clone Wars. Then you do 3.
There needs to be no droids or Ewoks cartoons.
What is this?
Joe.
Where are all these extra things? What do you mean 4, 5? There's only 3 movies.
Oh God!
Oh, you're one of those.
Yeah, he's one of those.
That's my neighbor. He won't show his kids 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, you mean those Disney movies?
Folks,
you mean those Disney movies?
But yeah, in the meantime, the Forgotten Realms novels, on the other hand, they span everything. They span all the settings. If you want your taste of the Red Wizards, they have some awesome stuff. If you want your taste of the Undead, they have some awesome stuff. If you want your taste of the Deserts of Amn, they have wonderful stuff. The Moon Sea has got great stuff. The North has got great stuff. The Underdark, Waterdeep, all kinds of Waterdeep.
Yeah, tons of Waterdeep.
The Wizards, everybody with a name has a book or 5.
True.
And the Zentarum?
They have it.
They have a series. They're like default bad guys. When they're thinking about writing a novel Forgotten Realms, to go, okay, who do you want to have? Zentarum. All right, we'll put them in there somewhere. They're just like the generic. You know, like when you watch old school G.I. Joe, and they always had like hundreds of nameless Cobra soldiers that were like crappy uniform. That's just the Zentarum in every Forgotten Realms book. They're just in the background being bad guys.
And then after Cobra Kai came around, that was Tom and the Red Wizards.
Oh man, but yeah, okay. Shall we move on to our next email?
All about the merchandising.
Yeah, you have no idea. Okay.
And folks, just for the record, it's 451236. Go.
What, as far as favorites? Okay,
as far as
that's a whole
order of Star Wars films.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. All right. Fair enough. Let's just leave that alone. Okay. This next email is from DM Shag, and he says,
Shaggy.
Yeah, Shaggy.
Shag's back.
Greetings, Hammer Throwers. Loving the show. Was recently listening to one of the great D20 radio podcasts, RFI, THACO's Hammer, Real Basement Dwellers, don't remember which, where the subject was ripping campaign settings from various source material. That was us.
Yeah.
Damn straight that was us. So my question is this. Why hasn't anyone done the Elder Scrolls? The video game series, it's got everything the lazy DM would need, and I do mean everything. People, places, things, monsters, gods, demons, adventures, lots of those. History, lore, you name it. Have I missed seeing the Elder Scrolls campaign settings sourcebook at my friendly local gaming store? What with the recent release of the Elder Scrolls Online, I decided now was a great time to pose this question to my favorite 2E podcast hosts. What do you guys think of a setting of 2E or any edition really, AD&D campaign world of Tamriel? As always, love the show. Keep up the great work. Okay.
You want me to touch this first?
Go ahead, Corey.
All right. Well, let me say first of all, I'll just say no. You did not miss it. It's not out there.
No.
Also,
there's a reason for that.
I played 2 sessions in a homemade EverQuest made and EverQuest stolen campaign setting that was based off of 2E. Mm-hmm. I played it in exactly 2 sessions, rolled my eyes, and went, I'm going back to Forgotten Realms.
What, they played it too much like the game?
Yeah.
Including tanking and raiding and all that crap?
Yep. And the lore's there, the books are there, your gods are there, and then you can say the same thing. I've played Skyrim, I've played Morrowind, I haven't touched the online game because all it is right now is somebody please come bite me to be a vampire werewolf, but we won't get into that. The point I have
both editions of the WoW for D20.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. Any time they take a video game, and turn it into an RPG, it goes bad. I'm sorry, but I'm going to say it.
I played EverQuest.
Even Diablo?
It wasn't that bad. I played EverQuest.
I did like the Diablo magic item tables. The Diablo expansion magic item tables are awesome. But I'm bent that way.
Well, at least you admit it. This is a good thing. But
now, Shaggy, I'm going to say you might very well see Elder Scrolls Online made by Wizards of the Coast. Or made by Fantasy Flight, or any of the other gaming systems out there that might use 4th edition or D20 rules.
And just
go talk to the Savage World guys. They'll do anything with Savage Worlds.
But I personally don't think it's a series or a world that I would go, hey, let me use that. It's got some nifty stuff in it, but it's nothing that you haven't seen or can already find stats for in any other source book.
Agreed.
You want cat people? You can find cat people in another RPG. You want the dragon people? You can find dragon. You can find draconian stats, Sauriels.
Yep.
So the point is, a lot of the stuff that's in there, say for my one favorite thing, I'd love to see a character be a dragon who also looks like Macho Man Randy Savage, like Skyrim. But
yeah.
But
if you look for 30 seconds, you find all the Dragon Age stuff out there.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Yeah. Dragon Age would be another one.
All you need to do Dragon Age is just to do, I'd probably say 3.5 or Pathfinder, and use the freaking, the Book of Erotic stuff, and you're done. That's all you need to do.
Dragon Age?
Yeah, Dragon Age.
Green Ronin? Well, yeah, and remember, they do have a Mystara book out there for Dragon Age.
Oh, jeez. But, yeah, I remember that. But yeah, no, not that Dragon Age. He's talking about the actual video game that's been played. Yeah,
sorry.
Yeah, that's why I made the joke about Book of Eroticism or whatever the hell it's
one that's
called.
got Felicia Day making movies for it.
Hello? Yeah, exactly. But
awesome.
The other thing is that like Corey said, there may be a company that might do it if they can pay enough for the licensing, which is the major reason why it hasn't been done. Because like Corey said, there's been, like Full On said, there's two versions of EverQuest. There's one.
Said WoW.
WoW. There's one for EverQuest. There's one for WoW, and they just don't translate back over very well. Because you got to remember, most of these gaming things are taken from RPGs. So basically, you're regurgitating something that's already been regurgitated, and it doesn't translate well back over into
whichever hole it comes back out of, it's not really appetizing.
No, I agree. Yeah, totally. I love playing Champions of Norath and its sequel on my PlayStation 2. I love doing it, but at the same time, it's like, I never got into, WoW or any of the other stuff, and there's a reason for that, because, I have an addictive personality, and it's just one of these things where it doesn't translate well back over into Dice and Paper, especially when they're taking it from Dice and Paper to begin with. Excuse me.
What he said.
Else?
Yeah, I was gonna say, done. Tag. Anybody
else?
Well, I'm not familiar with the settings, so I can't speak to it.
I'm good.
It's a wonderful game. I've watched guys on Twitch who stream their games, and after they get all of the proper add-ons and textures and stuff for that, it's absolutely gorgeous, and it's actually kind of fun to watch play. It's just not.
What's that?
Elder
Scrolls Online?
Yeah, not Elder Scrolls, the latest one.
Skyrim?
Yeah,
Look at it this way. There's a reason that they're going used for $7.47 on Amazon, new for $23.96. EverQuest role-playing game, Swords and Sorcery, Game Master's Guide.
Yep. Yeah,
but
there's a reason.
To give you an explanation of what it is, though, is Skyrim to Elder Scrolls Online is essentially like reading about the 10 towns and the north when you have the whole world of Skyrim is the northern section of the Elder Scrolls world.
Right.
So that's all that Skyrim is. It's the same world. It's just a section of it. So it's all right. It's the same. It's pretty much more of the same, just more snow.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, it's not a bad game. Just
Thanks, Brian Hudson. We'll read more of yours later.
Thanks, Brian. So how many was that?
That was 4, I think.
All right. What else?
We can do another one.
All right, I'll do it.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah. Do it.
You can do it.
You can do it all night. Yeah. Okay. Let's see. Okay. Yeah. Here we go. This one is from Chris Weggert. And he says, "Greetings and salutations from the Great White North." Hey, we got a Canadian listener. Awesome. Let's see.
Never had one of those.
One of those. Oh, Glenn, your prejudices are showing.
I'll zip up my pants in.
Thank you. Yeah, no one wants to see that. Let's see. I would like to start this email by thanking you for rekindling my interest in second edition D&D.
You're welcome.
The font.
I was just saying you're welcome.
Oh, yes. You're welcome. The font, perhaps flood of information you guys provide in each splat book is truly amazing. I've only listened up to episode 21, and you've already provided me oodles of inspiration. He did send this email on March 13th. So hopefully he's caught up by now.
Wait till he gets to the DM brainstorm stuff.
Yeah, exactly. You might drown in the information we give you, so wear a snorkel or something. As a bit of personal background, I've been gaming for around 25 years, always as a game master, running everything I've been able to get my hands on, including long campaigns of Rifts and Fading Suns. I'm impressed by Fading Suns.
I love Rifts.
Yeah.
Bring on the Rifts.
Mm-hmm.
Never read Fading Suns.
Yeah, Fading Suns is actually an interesting campaign. You might want to look at it. I think it's what Dark Sun should have done, but that's just me. That said, my first real immersion and first love in gaming is 2nd edition. Playing AD&D has been an experience which has provided friendships that have lasted a lifetime. Most gamers know there's something about that experience of shared storytelling that gaming provides that builds strong bonds of camaraderie, or starts fistfights, one of the two.
Leaves you duct tape to the tape.
Exactly. After having been in a general gaming hiatus for several years due to becoming a parent, oh, I know all about that. That's right. That's coming up very shortly.
It happens.
Yes, it does. You have no idea. Anyway,
yes, he does actually.
Yeah, I have an idea now. Yeah.
No, I mean Kojo. Yeah, he's got plenty of idea.
Yeah,
I got three of them.
Yeah.
For those in the audience who don't know, our own DM Brian here has found that he is going to be a father
at 45.
That's awesome.
There you go.
Congratulations.
At least we think he's the father.
Thank you.
Oh, and it's true.
You know what? You know, I'll take my girlfriend to Chicago to get on Jerry Springer. Anyway,
especially since the kid's gonna have freckles and red hair.
Oh wow, dude!
Wait until they're filming in Indy so you can get to Gen Con.
Yeah, there's an idea. Okay. Yeah. I am now just getting back into the pen and paper RPGs, having found some parents interested in forming a group. Awesome. Their experience with D&D and gaming in general comes by way of the excellent Baldur's Gate PC games and Hackmaster. Wow.
Yeah, Hackmaster for the win!
Wow.
Baldur's Gate and Hackmaster. Wow.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah. Holy crap.
That has the potential to be an interesting set of fruits.
Yeah, definitely interesting. Oh my god.
Fruits is a good term.
Yes. You can
more like nuts.
Yeah, I was gonna say nuts probably better. Being the kind DM that I am, I've started them in Greyhawk as a brief interlude before dumping them into the pits of hell with my favorite AD&D setting, Planescape. Wow. If you've never run the adventure to Baator and back, or from the superb Well of Worlds adventure book, I highly recommend.
Wow. Yeah, he's not screwing around.
No, he is not playing.
There you go.
Holy crap.
Harsh.
Yeah, big time harsh.
What?
It's harsh, dude.
If you're playing
absolute newbies,
it is. If you're playing Planescape, you actually have so many ins and outs and back doors and side roads and doors and ways to manage getting around the planes without simply you walk into the plane of fire and die. You walk into the plane of negative energy and die.
I get it. Or you walk into the plane of positive energy and
explode.
Yeah, explode because you become the best you absolutely could be. Anyway, to continue. The adventure is a great way to take a low-level party to Sigil and scare the living crap out of them, I'll use that term, at the same time. Yeah, you think. Or, of course, they could all just die before they get there. It is Baator, after all. Play stupid perish.
A small window of scare the crap out of them, and then it's going to turn into crack-addicted maniacs trying to game the system.
Yeah.
They're going to be like Hellscape people with boxes, Hellraiser people with a collection of boxes, and they're going to roll lament boxes like D6s trying to get a crit.
This guy must be related to Matt or something. But anyway, this brings me to my questions. After having been out of circulation for nearly a decade, I'm finding myself a bit rusty as a DM. While keeping the rules straight or at least coherent, it is relatively simple. Is amazing how difficult it can be to fall back into the art of crafting a world in my player's imagination through description alone. I've never had that problem, but that's just me. In your experience when describing something, how much description is often too much or too little? I'm finding it difficult to find a balance between setting the scene in interesting ways without slowing the game down. At the end of the day, I want to keep everyone entertained with cool descriptions that really engage my players in the setting. This I find to be extremely important in Planescape with all its bizarre environments without boring them with detail. Yeah, he does have an issue. How do you guys deal with this? What level of description would you provide for a new monster, environment, or NPC being encountered? By the same token in combat, how much detail do you use to describe the action? All right, that's his first question. He's got another one.
You got a whole table of new players, and they're all parents, and they all have a time limit, and they all have kids and babysitters they have to pay or whatever. What you got to do is you got to sit down and you got to say, listen, guys, we only have a certain amount of time. How much detail do you like? Would you like me to tell you a story, or would you like me to give you the bare bones so we can move on from there? I can do either one. I want to know what you guys, who was this that asked that?
Chris Weggert.
Weggert, if you sit there and you start reading box text and you see somebody checking their cell phone, you see somebody picking at their nails or stacking dice towers like I've seen so many times, you're reading too much. You
Agreed.
need to find out what works with your party. You need to ask them, where's the limit?
But you can't say just, there's a room, it has got a creature in it.
Yeah.
You gotta be
what
more
do you do?
Yeah, I mean, in my experience, that's
you kick down the door and kill it.
Yeah, for sure. Kill it and take its stuff, man. But yeah, I mean, with me, that's why I like reading box text. But if it's too long, I will abbreviate. At least
summarize, abbreviate, and cliff note as needed to get the ball rolling. But make sure you at least, if you have box text to work from, go through and run a highlight marker over the things that you have to say that are kind of critical to the story.
Yeah, agreed, for sure. You know, because I mean, I have to kind of abbreviate in, you know, Hammers of the Duchy because we only have on average like 2.5 hours to play. So, and most of that time, you know, the players are trying to crack each other up and crack the DM up. So, yeah.
I'm drawing the map, man.
What are you talking about?
Well, yeah,
shocking to me.
I'm drawing pictures, man.
What, Kojo?
So that shocks me to hear.
Thank you, Kojo. Thank you.
I have not had a chance to listen to the Hammers of the Duchy yet, but
really?
Well, you know, I got so many podcasts that actual plays have not been as high a priority.
I should really be offended right now.
No, don't be offended. It's because I'm listening
to
so much
to
THACO's
your
Hammer.
mouth now. Yeah, he listens to your mouth on THACO's Hammer.
The best episodes of the trivia games.
If I can,
especially the first one.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, Corey won.
Okay. To his second question. My second question relates to keeping a group motivated. Yeah. Due to real life obligations, the group I'm running can only commit to 1 to 2 sessions a month. You're lucky to have 2. Don't complain too much. You know, once you get over 30 and you actually have something that resembles a life, you find that the time that you have to play is quite limited. With so much downtime between sessions, I fear the campaign may come off the rails unless I end every game with a dramatic cliffhanger. The idea of having my campaign turn into a bad serial makes me shudder. To try and keep people involved away from the gaming table, I created a Facebook page for the campaign, but aside from this, I am at a loss for what else to do. Have you had any experience in keeping an irregular group going? What has worked or failed for you? Thank you.
Thank you. Everybody in my group is regular, so I don't have to worry about that.
Right. Well, I'm running a somewhat irregular game. You know,
he's talking about regular bowels. Did you not get that joke? That was an awesome joke, and it got ruined on you.
I walked right past. I know. So of course,
Glenn, I recognize your joke, and I clap for you. That was good.
Thank you. If I'd have been faster, I would have put the rim shot in there.
Yeah.
So,
the closest thing I have to a regular group right now is Hammers of the Duchy, where we spend only 2.5 hours cracking jokes and drawing maps.
Yeah, once a month if we're lucky.
Hey, I did my share of dice rolling. What are you talking about?
Yeah, I know.
Hey, you guys want to skip doing so many podcasts? I can run another game if you guys want a different game and you want me to run.
I would like my character to make it a 2nd level, thank you.
You get the 2nd
level. Hey, Brian, there's a simple solution to that.
Yeah.
Corey, run us some Dark Sun so we can all start in 3rd level.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. Talk about a rim shot. But anyway.
You know, when I was running my, we're on hiatus from 2E right now, but when I was running my 2A campaign, I was running through Keep on the Borderlands.
Mm-hmm.
And I ended up stretching that thing out for about 1.5 years of playing, once or twice a month. Because I kept adding pieces on it, like side adventures, because I had a very irregular group I couldn't keep getting the same core group together. It was always like somebody was missing.
And if you've taken the Hackmaster take on Little Keep on the Borderlands, you could play that for a year and not do everything.
Right. Well, yeah. And for a while, I spent a lot of time trying to figure out, explain away where people went and why people showed up. And after a while, I was just like, you know what? This person's not here. The character's not there. Somebody else is here. Let's roll with it. Let's not spend time explaining it. I did, though, keep kind of a blog running here on the OSR Gaming site for that campaign, where my players could kind of go out and read what was going on. I would also send it out over Facebook to all the group every time we had a session, so people that weren't there could read what they missed.
Mm-hmm.
So that was helpful.
I can't believe how much mileage Bad Mike gets out of In Search of Adventure, Beat 1.
You know what I would call that blog? The Gatekeeper's Log. It's just the journal of the dude manning the gate to the keep. This guy's in, this guy's out. He declared he's coming to town to do this business. These guys left declaring this was their business.
Yeah, right.
That'd be awesome.
Obsidian Portal is a good website, too, for keeping track of blogging your adventures and stuff.
Oh, really? Obsidian Corridor? I've never seen
Obsidian Portal.
Obsidian Portal. Thank you very much, sir.
It's not bad.
Yep.
And if I wasn't so lazy, I would go to our page at now I've forgotten the name of the place. My goodness, what is wrong with me?
Roll20?
Epic Words.
Oh, Epic Words.
Oh, yeah, Epic Words, and I would do an update, the campaign update, but I just have no time.
You know what?
I actually got that page.
Yes.
I think I might actually start doing a journal entry sort of campaign rundown from the eyes of Ketsuo, since he can read and write.
Do it.
That's what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, sure. If it's good, I'll give you XP for that. Sure.
Well, I'm not doing it for XP. I just think it would be cool for other people who are listening to the podcast.
I didn't dangle the carrot for any core. I'm just saying that's what I like. I like my players to do every once in a while. Just something to personalize the character a little more.
Is that the Adventures of Guido's Gorillas?
Yeah.
Guido's Gorillas. Yeah. Guido's Gorillas. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, as far as keeping your players, interested and engaged, it's like, well, if you're running a game that's only going to be attended once or twice a month, I can get it. But, I mean, especially if you're dealing with somewhat newbies, there's nothing wrong with making it look like a bad serial. Absolutely nothing wrong with it. If it keeps them engaged to where I can't wait for next month. I want to see how this all turns out. I want to see if what we have planned actually works, or if we can get the big bad this time. Sure.
And you don't have to make it a bad cereal, just make it a cheesy cereal. Those are good cereals.
Yeah, for sure.
With grain and fiber to keep everyone regular.
Bust out the cheese for sure.
Yeah, then we'll have a regular group.
Oh, that was awesome.
Oh, Glenn.
Seriously, that's how you do it. You can still make it a lead into other things. I mean, it doesn't have to mesh and tie perfectly, and I would only advise you to not necessarily have every fight stop in the middle of an initiative roll and combat for the week.
Yeah, that's true. Although that did work out a little better in Hammers.
Well, that happens.
Sometimes it's useful. Don't overuse the trope. You can't always finish in camp, and you can't always stop in the middle of a fight.
Yep.
When it's appropriate, you can use either.
Yeah, you stop before.
You can also say, and we go off into the sunset, do the Bill Bixby down the road ending, and lead into you have arrived at the new adventure.
Did you just do an Incredible Hulk reference?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
Wrong show.
If you're mini-soding it, you can episode it, you can mini-sode it, or you can saga it. Whatever is going to be the flavor your characters and players work with best.
Yep, that's what it comes down to.
And if they like variety, I would lean towards the mini-sode. If they like continuity, you could go for the saga.
Hey. So I'm just, I mean, it's all about what brings your players back to the table and are eager to bust out the dice and get right back going again. That's what it comes down to. Excuse me.
Can I interject and ask a quick question from you guys real quick? Because everybody knows that I draw while we're doing the podcast.
Yes.
I'm drawing a troll walking through a swamp, and he has something under his arm. Should it be a piglet with a surprised look on its face, or should it be like a slumped over halfling in his hand?
Give him the halfling.
All right, that's all. Continue.
It should be a not halfling, low-level adventurer with a surprised look on his face.
You know, one thing that...
Did you really have to ask the question, Corey?
You know, one thing that I found useful was a blog entry that somebody put on. A guy named Ben Robbins talks about his campaign called the West Marches. And his website is arsludi.lamemage.com.
Wow.
And basically it's a sandbox, and he's got a lot of different like small things set out in his campaign world that basically there's a central town, and they can go out, and if you want to go to this place, you try that, and you go that place. And some of the things are just beyond the level of the party, and they have to figure that out and run away and go somewhere else. But it sounds to me like they're much more small, like things that can be contained in one session.
Mm-hmm.
And so he'll like ask his group ahead of time, like, where do you guys want to go this week, and go with the majority rule. And if they say we want to go to the Haunted Keep, then he kind of preps that more and runs that with whoever shows up.
Right.
So it's kind of an interesting way to kind of deal with that if you've got a group of players that's intermittent.
Yeah.
And so I can send you the link, Brian, to his blog.
Mm-hmm.
I found it very helpful just to read through what he'd done.
Okay.
So,
yeah, by all means.
and you can put in the show notes then.
Yes, I will certainly do that.
And to give him credit, again, his name is Ben Robbins, so pretty good stuff.
Awesome.
Thanks, Kojo.
No problem.
Kojo. Mm-hmm. So.
Is that number 5 or?
That's number 5, yeah.
One more. Let's do
one more? All right.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Corey.
You want to do another one there, Full-On?
They haven't sent me another one.
Oh, hold
okay.
on. I'll send it to him. I'll just edit all this out.
Send them the
Venus,
DM.
I just have
Venus.
to make sure it's something relatively short, and I'm not finding one that's relatively short.
That's okay. I read fast.
Okay.
Yeah,
DRM says, greetings, hammering THACOs. May I say something more about combat rounds? As I've said, I'm not using the player's option books. Don't like the first one, and while I've been looking through the other two, curiosity and such, I found them to be not to my liking. However, combat in D&D was never intended to be realistic, and hit points are not just the amount of life your PC has, but also reflect the ability to dodge and soak up damage and to withstand pain and such. What part of those books implies anything other than that? They state that several times explicitly. But
Yes.
okay. Look at
Moving right
football
along.
players versus rugby players, for example. In one of the pansies, football, as in football, by the way, not padded rugby with forward passes, get a tap on the shoulder, he's near death and requires lots of time to recover. If you've ever seen a football match, you've seen plenty of bad acting and people with near-death experiences from being tackled. Compare that to rugby, where some of the players are sprinting one way to be stopped by a shoulder to the stomach from the opposing players, also sprinting to stop the attack. These players just get up off the ground and get on with it. Now, the comparison here is that it's not harder to injure a football player than a rugby player. However, the rugby players can withstand massively larger amounts of pain than the footballers. In game terms, the rugby players would have far more abstract hit points because of this. Yeah, I had to go there. I'm sorry. It's just the tone.
no,
It's to clarify my reasoning for a combat round being 1 minute as per the core rulebook, not 6 seconds or 10 seconds. For me, constitutes a segment. In any case, I digress. It's a minute, as in tiny. It's a minute, as in tiny, detail of the actual rule set. And if I've never been too keen on the combat part of the game anyways. However, if I really wanted more detailed and realistic combat, I'd probably use Arms Law and Claw Law from Iron Crown Enterprises. Might be known for the slightly realistic game Rollmaster, instead of Chapter 9 in the core rulebooks. Well, I use their crit tables any damn way, so fine. I just feel that like trying to plug in any realism into such an abstracted combat system as the AD&D is like feeding a crocodile with carrots. Disclaimer, I might sound like a stubborn and grumpy old grognard here. That is not my intention. I just wanted to clarify my reasoning for why I believe Full-On Gamer, I would absolutely love to play the game in one of his games one day, by the way, is wrong when it comes to the length of the combat rounds in game terms. Love the show. Just because there's a slight disagreement in time tracking doesn't mean I will leave the show. You know how many different ways I use round tracking in just 2E alone with all the other systems? I have to ask every DM, how are we doing time? And what is the length of a round? It doesn't really matter. Yep. And it can be as abstract or as tight as you want. I'm not expecting it to be Cyberpunk where every round is 1.5 seconds long, actually 3 seconds long with the additional segments that someone with a hyped up reflex gets. Although I
remember those days.
But it's okay. It's whatever flows best for your game. And I have always had to go forth, reiterate, and tell everybody that hit points are not the life points of you bleeding out.
Unless, of course, you're bleeding.
Everything beyond your first hit die, or your wound points if you're using vitality and wound points, which is one of the options, has been told to be and is known to be your skill, your luck, the will of the gods, your training, your fortitude, and other things above and beyond. That all the stretching and all the back and forth and parry and strike. Going back to the other question earlier about how do you describe combat? Well, you don't want to describe every combat as I hit you with my sword when you're only 8 hit points into 50.
Yeah.
You want to say we clash mightily and exchange blows, parrying and thrusting, and eventually you start having grazing and cutting wounds, or you're strained mightily and your legs are shaking and your arms are quivering and you've strained your back catching that blow before the axe goes through your face until you start actually getting cut. And then the criticals come out and you can say the axe plunges deeply into your innards.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Twisting a little bit and leaving a rope of pink as it pulls away.
Wow.
You're probably in negatives now or near to them.
You're going Mac Bolin with your descriptions.
What?
You're going Mac Bolin with your descriptions.
You haven't seen me get wild with my descriptions on the that way. And that's before I even go to crit tables, which I have 5 different ones I use between good hits, bad misses, arms law and claw law, rollmaster, friggin' MERPs. I use the MERPs ice tables set, plus the ever popular Game Master fumble deck, which gives me all kinds of fun to play with, and the crit tables that are in the. I don't like the crit tables that are in combat and tactics. They don't serve my purposes because we already had something working with good hits, bad misses.
Yep.
In my opinion, if people use it correctly. But again, it all depends on someone's reach and scope and what they want to use for their timeline in the game, and also whether they're talking about combat rounds versus just we're puttering about in the world rounds. You don't have to have one standard for all things. You have to have a floating scale to deal with the scale of action in your campaign. Unless you want to sit there and roll every 10 rounds for encounters as they walk down the 8-hour day of the road.
Hey, I
that
do that.
You get duct taped to a table.
Careful. You're treading on my procedures. Careful. Anyway, Corey, you want to say something?
No. This guy's opinion about his stuff is his opinion, and if he wants to call full on wrong, that's his mistake. I mean, his decision, and to say it. And,
yeah, you might have got that.
Yeah, I take my opinion on it my way, and hey, you DM your game your way, I'll DM my game my way. Guess who said I'm allowed to do that? Oh, that's right, Gary Gygax. So that's good. You do what you want, and congratulations.
Yep.
Yes.
Sure.
I'm drinking a little too much to be objective. So
you want to say full on's wrong? It's your prerogative and our pain.
Well, I can be wrong. I can admit I'm wrong. I was simply going to say I'm different.
You can be wrong for about 5 minutes while we listen. Okay. At first, I was going to wait for everybody to stop and go, little bastard, done yet? No. Full on, you are perfectly within your rights. Besides, that's entertainment, folks.
Yeah. Yeah. In the end, that's what we do.
Yeah.
That's what we
get it in the end, yes.
Kind of.
Whoa!
Whoa?
Yes. Whoa?
Never mind. Okay. You guys are missing Glenn's classic lines. Are you kidding me?
I'm high. Hey, I'm high on ibuprofen.
Yeah, what it is.
I got a nice little buzz going.
You've been here so long.
Hey! I better close the splat book before my head gets so big I can't get out the room.
There you go.
Yeah.
Go tap your wife on the shoulder.
Or tap her where?
There it is.
On the small of the back, perhaps. Anyway, moving right along.
I do give good toe massages. I don't tickle it nothing. Anyway,
really? Did you give a man a foot massage? Because I could go for one.
I'm
right
the
now.
foot master.
I'm the foot master. Anyway, time. Let's close this splat book. I think we did enough damage. Okay. Say goodnight, Kojo.
Well, thanks for inviting me to the party. Sorry I was late.
It's okay.
That's okay. It's okay. You brought the dip and the chips. It's fine.
And again, it
I
wasn't
do what I
a
can.
good idea.
Corey, you want to say goodbye?
Good night, everybody out there. Thanks for listening. Keep on writing it in. And Kojo, if you're out there listening, stop writing because you write too much.
I can't win with you guys.
Just crash the show. You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
You want to say goodbye?
To the Gamer Nation, we're here. We're having a wonderful time, and we will see you again when the hammer comes down.
Oh, yeah. Brian, please.
Oh, good night, folks.
Well said. Well said. And I'm DM Glenn saying I'll see you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer. Bye-bye.
Yeah!
We're still doing Dragonland.
I've got a minute to dodge it!
THACO's Hammer theme is provided by the Diablo Swing Orchestra. You'll find them on Jamendo.com. All other additional music for this episode was provided by Kevin MacLeod. You'll find more of his music on Incompetech.com. Be sure to visit our website at thacoshammer.info. If you have any questions or comments, email us at thacoshammer@gmail.com. Remember, that's an O, not a 0. You can also find us on the second edition forums at osrgaming.org and at purpleworm.org. Or give us a call and leave us a voicemail at 405-806-0555. See you next time when the hammer comes down on THACO's Hammer.